Hi, BiFFs.
Hey, Beth.
Dear Abby.
Dear Kiki.
Captain.
Red flag,
Cheers to you.
desperate housewife.
Pinot Grigio.
Doesn't want to marry
Exert
you.
power.
Love you like I
Pour
love
more
you.
wine.
Don't talk to yourself.
Cheers, Biff.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ill-advised.
Ill-advised. This is ill-advised.
Hey, BiFFs.
Hello.
Hello and welcome.
Welcome to Ill-advised.
The podcast where two best friends turn Russian and greet you. Are we keeping that in?
Yeah.
Should we start over?
No. One best friend turned Russian.
And tell you what to do when someone else already has.
Like your Russian grandmother.
Your babushka?
I love you.
I think that's right, actually.
I think you are right.
Oh, hi, Beth.
Hey. How you doing?
Fucking ask again later.
Yeah, I was going to say that sigh was a fair answer.
Yeah, there's just too much going on. There's just too much going on, but not enough. It sounds very convoluted, and that's exactly how I feel.
So pretty much you're at capacity.
I am at where I'm at.
And that's okay.
That's okay. Someone pick up that other 90% because I ain't doing it.
Fair enough.
No, my job description right now is me.
I love it.
Yeah, that's
Love
how it is. How you doing?
I think I'm fine.
Real fine.
Girl. Well, since what I have to say has to do with our last episode.
You mean episode 70 with Consent to Treat?
Yes, I do.
Oh, if you haven't listened to that, go back. So then you can come back here and pick up where you left off to hear what Stephanie has to say.
Oh my God, it was so good. You don't want to miss it. She's just, every time she opened her mouth, I was like, oh,
she's a powerhouse.
bitch. But I love you.
I think she'll accept that.
She definitely would. Yeah, I guess for our listeners who haven't heard it yet, they may not be able to track with me about this, but she had said something to me just so matter-of-factly and like so just like...
It was almost nonchalant.
Just like, yeah, babe. And I literally cried.
Yes.
And it just was so, I don't know the word. It was so like, oh my God, like I took the hugest breath ever. Like just inhale and then exhaled for like 5 minutes is what it felt like. And it definitely changed. It didn't like immediately change my life. Mm-hmm. But I noticed the other day when she said it's okay, like your boundaries are literally like, if it feels good, it's fine. If it doesn't, it's not. Like,
which is so weird because we know in any other context.
Right.
Yeah.
And it helped me to see that because she even had made a comment like, if you want to if you want to do this forever, like, sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead. And I noticed, I think it was probably yesterday, where it was like giving myself that permission or space or whatever to allow that and to just let that be what it is. Like when it feels good, then fine, it can happen. Mm-hmm. And then when it stops feeling good, then no, then I have boundaries.
Right.
Giving myself like that space to do that showed me that at some point I just am no longer interested in the good, like up and down in this specific situation. You know what I mean?
That's so great.
I know. So it wasn't the fact that
grown up actually. A little,
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just the fact of like allowing myself to be.
That sounds so nice.
I know.
Just
and it like took me to this place where it's like, there, that's not what I want. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it went from less of, holding my boundaries when things aren't good and then releasing my boundaries when they are good. It wasn't about that anymore. It became now is I don't want a situation that like I have to constantly, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like monitor.
Yes. Like I just don't want that. So whether it feels good or not, I just am not interested.
Right.
Because I don't want to babysit.
Not even myself.
Not even
Amen to that.
Anyways, that was my
take. It was a very powerful moment too. And our listeners know, like I edit and do our videos and stuff like that and do our promos, and watching the video, you having this conversation, you literally looking like you were balled up, and then after you came to that, like, it was like your tears were like acceptance of that information. And it was just, it's a weird transition to see, but also like a very beautiful one, because after that, you were like open. You saw the elephant come off your chest.
Yeah.
And you were like, you were definitely not present anymore.
It just really was like that's why I said, like, it just felt
Not
like
in a
I
bad
just
way.
exhaled for like a 5-minute breath, and it just was like,
it was like your mind was blown and you were just like, I can't focus on anything else right now. But I mean, you were definitely in the podcast. she was there. Listen. She was there. She was talking. But I love that. That was totally impromptu. Like, we were not planning.
I was not expecting this woman to.
Yeah. Or we weren't even planning a question of like our own or your own on our end. So that was beautiful. And just big shout out to Rachel of Consent to Treat podcast, and Ellie too. It was just a beautiful episode with so many beautiful moments.
She's amazing. That's all. Just follow Consent to Treat.
Yeah. I mean, you've never heard about it on this podcast? What? Do you even listen, bro?
Speaking of podcasts.
Yeah.
We have questions.
What? You want wine?
I do.
We're not holding these glasses for nothing.
You're right. It's getting warm.
It is getting warm.
Picklebacks.
How about Double Black?
Oh.
That's the name of this wine.
Sounds kinky.
Yeah. 2020 from California. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon. And if you're wondering, it's 14.2% alcohol, which means it's 28.4 proof.
I hate you.
That's how you do that math.
28.4 proof.
That's right. Double Black is inspired from our passion for skiing the challenging runs on the mountain. Bro, it's summer. Should have read this beforehand. This Cabernet is bold, daring, and lush. Deep dark red, rich in color and flavor, with perfect tannins to tantalize your taste buds.
Oh.
Anytime you are ready to accept a challenge, reach for Double Black and enjoy. Double Black. Drink responsibly. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's like a sweeter cab, right? Or did we warm it up with our hands?
No, I can taste a little sweeter.
But I like it.
I love it.
But I would drink this in the winter.
In the winter. I was going to say, I don't know if it's because we read about the winter, so it's in our head.
Yeah, no, there's something like, it's almost like spiced.
I was just going to say.
Okay, perfect.
Almost like not cinnamon, but spiced.
Yeah. And it's just, I want this to be full of like part of a mulled wine by a fireplace.
Yeah, at a ski resort.
With
no skis.
A really big charcuterie board.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Makes me want salami real bad.
Real bad. So now can we do the questions?
Now we have questions.
Let us go to one of our favorites. What do you think, Biff?
Yes.
You feeling this?
Yes.
How about Prudy?
Yes.
We haven't done Prudy, I feel like, in a while. We've been to the Slate, but we haven't done Prudy. So let's just jump into this shit, shall we?
Do it.
This first one is, help, I found my husband's list of every argument we've had.
Oh, no.
From December 20th, 2021. And this one is written by Janae Desmond Harris.
Okay.
I am married to a very smart, very calm man. Girl, I know. Ain't no such thing. We get along well. I'm a stay-at-home mom at the moment, and we have a lovely toddler. I like a lot of mom.
I like a lot of mom.
Yep. I, like a lot of moms, feel like a lot of my efforts are unseen, and it resulted in a fight the other night. It was nothing particularly toxic, but when he left for a meeting, he left his computer on. Aw, shit. Been there. Been there. Regretted that. It didn't take much to find a list that he's been keeping for a year of every quarrel that he's had with me. He's kept a list of things he feels I bullied him into, times when he felt like he was in the right. It's all there. This whole time, I've asked him explicitly, are we okay? And he says we're fine. But there's a list. exclamation point was there. I had to. There's a list. And now I have no idea what to do. I was snooping. So do I acknowledge that as well as the fact that he's keeping an active list of grievances? Do I go through the list and try to address each time I was wrong and just pretend that I'm doing this by chance? There are things on there I've always been super insecure about and convinced myself he wasn't bothered by. I'm honestly so thrown off by this. What should I do? Is this divorce territory?
I like this question.
I love this question.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
So, firstly, I have never been the one to get behind people saying, like, well, I found this information via snooping, so I feel like I can't bring it up.
Oh.
I'm not that girl. I don't care how I found it. There's no part of me.
It's been found.
That cannot hold that back.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I think about it in concept that way, but then I know me going like, I can't hide my face. I can't hide shit. I'm sure as hell not going to hide this.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't know how you could.
Right. So I'm just all that to say that I'm on board with you in a way.
I'm going to take a picture of your list and send it to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
with that, just ... as the text.
Or a bunch of question marks.
Oh, that too.
And or exclamation marks. Or we need to talk and leave it at that until he gets home.
Pack your shit when you get home.
No, not even. But just the old paranoia, we need to talk. And then don't say another word again until you see him in person.
Oh, and so you're not sending a picture of the list at this point? Oh, you are?
Taking a picture of the list and underneath it saying we need to talk. And then he's not going to know how I'm feeling.
Yeah, but I would do it without the list.
Just a we need to talk.
Just a we need to talk. Because if you put the list, but if you put the list on there, he's going to be like, okay, let me anticipate this conversation. No, I don't want you to prepare, motherfucker. I want you at my whim.
He doesn't know if I'm angry, if I'm upset, if I'm nervous and feeling insecure. He doesn't know how I'm
just mean like he's obviously going to be defensive, right? So it's kind of like he's going to try to rationalize his responses to himself and like be able to pluck one out of those rationalizations, the internal list he made.
Yeah, but good luck.
To me, it's like, let me catch you off guard because motherfucker, you are not preparing for anything around me.
I know. I'm not cut out for that.
You're not.
I'm not.
You're not.
I'm like texting you as I'm still on the phone getting the information that I'm getting. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't do that.
It's true.
Anyways, I don't think this is grounds for divorce.
I don't think so either. I agree with you.
The dance in my gut, is he gonna go get a divorce? And now he's got ammo? Or is this like a self-growth thing?
So I thought that too.
That he can reflect on, or is he gonna come for me one day and be like, look, you have issues and here's why.
No, you have issues and here's why.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still sifting through that. What do you got?
Okay. So you snooped. So one of the first things I'm thinking about is there was some mistrust there to begin with.
I want to believe you. And I mean, not believe you. I want to agree.
Yeah.
But it's like when something's screaming right in front of you in your face. Hi, here's my laptop. Open, unlocked, on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm teetering with like, is that actual mistrust? Or
is it actually snooping if they left it open?
Curiosity.
What's morally, what do you do? Right? So I know my feelings. I know your feelings. They're on the same page. Let me just put that there. Okay.
We in that bitch.
Let's go on this. Let's think about this outside of the box. A computer is left open. Your partner left their computer open. Is that an invitation for you to look through their files? Or do you take the moral high ground and say, oh, he left his computer open, and close the lid?
Those are two different questions. Because A, it is not an invitation.
It is not an invitation.
However, I'm still going in there.
No. We're talking outside of our feelings. What is the right answer?
There is no right or wrong answer.
No, but I mean, like, if you were thinking about it outside, If you don't have trust issues with your husband.
Honestly, my first thought was like, I'm just going to go look at what porn he's looking at. So I can...
That's how I got in trouble, okay? I just wanted to know, damn it.
But also, I feel like as the girlfriend or wife, and if I left my computer open, I don't think that I'm going to give a shit if he goes in it or not.
Yeah, see, I feel the same way.
You know what I mean?
I feel the same exact way you do.
I feel like, especially in like a marriage, I'd assume I'm not married, but I mean, it's just like one of those things, like my phone's on the kitchen table, it starts ringing, I'm washing the dishes, my husband grabs the phone.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If I was her friend, I would be like, girl, you need to ask him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Going back to that, I'm with you. You found something. What's changing the relationship? Him writing this down or you holding that secret?
Yeah. Him doing it in the first place or you finding it?
Right.
Through snooping.
The change in the relationship. I know
the whole world says that like personal privacy and yada, yada, yada. But I feel like in relationships, especially marriages, like, babe, my hands are wet. Can you grab my phone?
Or Control-Alt-Delete, motherfucker, and lock your computer.
Right? Is that an argument? Should we have things that we keep from our partners?
I think that there are things that we should have. We need our own space too, right? So, for example, my journal is my journal. It's for me and my private thoughts. Whether
Absolutely.
I use it whether I'm writing on my computer or in a book, that's my private thought.
Yes.
That to me is snooping. Like, sit back, like, mind your business. If there's something between us, you should trust me that I'm going to come to you and talk about it. Sometimes I just need to write down and work shit out, right? Yeah. But if I leave my computer unlocked by accident in a house where I live with my partner and I have nothing to hide, then it's not going to be an issue.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It shouldn't be.
Right.
It's when you have something to hide that it's a problem.
Right.
And
I think that's
could be this
more
list.
along the lines of where I was going, because I do 100% agree with you, though.
Yep.
You know,
there are certain things in your life that you need for you.
Right.
Like, I don't share you with nobody. That's my bitch.
It's funny because I'm single.
Fuck off. That is not the point.
I want to know what she did. I don't even care what Prudy has to
should
say.
Should she say something?
Yeah.
I agree. She should
because
say something. But I think that there's something underlying there too that made her go there. I don't think it's just he left his computer unlocked, so I decided to take a look.
I agree, because
I feel like she looked for something.
She did mention things that she had asked him, are we okay? Or is everything okay? Or something along those lines.
Yeah, like this has been like a thing that they have, like constantly asking, are you okay? Like, are we okay? And he's like, yeah. And she just hasn't felt right about that. So and then he left his computer open.
That's exactly what.
She went looking.
Because she knew something was off.
Yep.
Women know.
There it is.
Women know.
There it is.
We always will. We always will. We always do. Continue.
But also, don't go looking for something because you're going to find it. These are two separate lessons.
I was going to say, I don't like that one.
It's two separate lessons.
I agree. But if I'm feeling away, that's why I'm going to go look.
But isn't it those types of situations where you wish your intuition was wrong? Sometimes. Other times you're like, fuck.
I motherfucking knew it.
I get everything. I get everything. It's not divorce territory, but it is something to bring up.
Unless he's keeping it for divorce, future divorce.
And who knows what this list is? It might not even be fodder. It might not be anything that he can use.
Probably not, but
like, should we argue? That's just irreconcilable differences.
Yeah, but I guess the point is he keeping it out of spite?
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying.
Versus, we had an argument today,
or like a list to break up with her or something,
or like, listen, honey, you need to go get help. Here's why. CVS list.
It's a really long fucking list.
Right? Let's see what Prudence.
You only need 7 of those to get to the moon. Have you heard?
Who would have thought?
Oh, that's a meme. I can't take credit for that. Let's go. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh
no. I'm sure that this list was hard to see, but I don't think this is a crisis, and it certainly isn't divorce territory. You're going through a difficult patch as a couple and as parents, and we now know that his response has been to write things down. That's not bad. He didn't cheat. He didn't talk terribly about you behind your back. And he didn't remove you from his life insurance policy. Let me cut a bitch.
I wish he would.
I wish he would. In the same way you wrote this letter to me about what is bothering you, he wrote things down about what's bothering him. Should he feel betrayed by this letter? I hope you don't think so. What you saw was documentation of his thoughts that are similar to the ones I'm sure you've had after you've bumped heads. This does sound like an important sign that you need to be having more conversations, not just fights and disagreements, but check-ins about how you're doing and feeling, and more than, quote, are we okay? You don't have to tell him you saw the list to initiate this. I think that would just open up another set of issues around trust. Just promise yourself you won't snoop again. Maybe that means couples therapy, or maybe it means a good sit-down conversation in which you tell him you want to make sure your relationship is strong and would like to know if there's anything you can do better. The important thing is that you should let him know it's okay to open up when something is bothering him. And of course, you should do the same.
Meh.
I actually like this answer.
I know.
Because we did point out that this could be his own working out his thoughts.
You did, yeah.
No, you did.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, I was thinking that too.
In my 3 different scenarios.
And then it's like the diary situation.
So
right?
question.
Yeah.
You're a man.
Sometimes. Fuck you, get out of my head. Not right now.
And never mind. Just kidding. What would be your motive, other than you already discussed having a journal and whatever, if we scratched that, journaling, like
Forget
I'm just venting, what would be your motive for making a list of these arguments?
That's actually a really good fucking question.
Because I've this whole time just trying to sit and like, what would be behind me making a list? Because that feels different than journaling.
Well, I think that's what's off with the Prudy response, maybe, is that it's not necessarily the list, but the contents of the list of where I was wrong, right? And that sits a little bit different with me than just a list of our issues.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
It was where she was wrong and where he thought he was right. That doesn't feel like Dear Journal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that.
No.
It feels like...
Listen.
Or maybe he needs to research to find out why she thinks
12th.
she's right.
That's what I mean. Like, what would be your... Because I feel like mine would not be good.
Yeah, I don't think mine would either. I think I'd be doing that to
Mine
like throw it in somebody's face later, or
exactly
be like, this day you said this, and go fuck yourself. Like,
right.
You know?
Oh, that's funny because let me pull up my list.
Yeah.
On March 12th, you said or did this, you know, right? And now you're saying differently.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like,
that's gross, by the way.
Well, that's why
I'm with you.
The motives behind that does not feel beneficial to anyone.
I agree with you. There's absolutely nothing that could come from this type of list. It's like a slam book.
Because
that's what it feels like to me.
Is not like a journal entry or like I'm so mad.
Well, it very much could be. It very much could be, but it's the contents of this list that leave me feeling a little unsettled. I like the response that Prudy gave. I do. But it's the contents of the list that I wish that Prudy had addressed, because that's important.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, we can go on forever.
Unless this is like, you know, like how she was right, I was wrong. Well, it doesn't feel that way. But
no, because she said it was the opposite of that. She was wrong, I was right.
Oh, right. That's what I meant to say. Oh, yeah. Never mind. My argument is invalid.
We could go all day.
All day.
Next.
This one is from October 28th, 2021.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I think you're going to love this.
Oh, great.
Because you're into true crime.
Oh, yes.
Help. I framed my stepsister for a crime as a child. The grown-up aftermath has been disastrous.
Oh.
How can I make amends? Dear Prudence, when I was 10, my then 16-year-old stepsister, Corinne, moved in with my family. Her mom kicked her out for breaking curfew. Corinne and my mom clashed. She got my room while I had to move in with my sister, and I was bitterly jealous of her being our dad's biological daughter. So I framed her for stealing and destroying my mom's heirlooms. When Corinne refused to confess, my parents sent her to live with relatives while everyone calmed down.
Oh.
At the time, I was terrified to tell the truth, lest I be sent away. The guilt over what I did to Corinne has haunted me ever since. Now we're grown up. Corinne ran away from the relatives and was homeless for a few years. She now refuses to speak to my parents, who deeply regret sending her away. I know I need to confess to my parents and apologize to Corinne, but I am terrified of how everyone will react. My dad will never forgive himself for failing Corinne, and it would destroy me to lose his love, although I deserve it. I don't know what to say, because nothing in this world will make what I did okay or fix what I caused. How should I begin to confess? Unforgivable. I don't know why this isn't a fucking movie.
Oh my God.
Go, Biff.
Like, I'm having a hard time getting past the fact that she was 10 years old when she did it.
Yeah.
But
when I fucking saw that long ass fingernail, I knew there was a but.
got a nail tech. She's amazing, by the way. But how long was she sent away for?
It doesn't say. While people cooled down, but then she ran away and was homeless for a little while.
For flip's sake.
For flip's sake? Are you on the right podcast? The Barney podcast is on a different station.
What if my dad's listening? He doesn't like the F word.
He doesn't like the F word?
Right.
After everything we've said on this podcast, that's your dad's biggest concern?
Probably.
Not that my daughter sent her gay best friend her ex's dick pics.
Jeez!
He listened to that episode.
Listen to that one.
But he won't listen to this one.
Anyway.
Sorry, Matthew.
Anyways, Beth. You're 10 years old. And your sister just got sent away for being naughty. That's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Being young.
Right.
Your sister just got sent off. Now I'm traumatized.
Right. That's important to know that there is a trauma here. Not just for the sister, but for you.
But for you also.
Yeah.
Because now, if I break or do anything wrong in this home, I'm going to get sent away. That's another story. Anyways, that's like, you can't fault her for being terrified. Now I'm definitely not going to tell the truth, right? How do you handle it?
But now as an adult.
Yes, but even as a 15, 16, 17-year-old.
Well, no, I understand what you're saying in terms of like, how am I going to say anything? Like, I know what the consequence is going to be.
Yeah.
Right? I understand that. But now as an adult, the assumption here is you've moved out, depending on, what generation you're from.
Yeah, maybe. Right.
But the assumption here is that you've moved out and you have your own life, and now this truth is eating you up.
Did she mention anything about her current relationship with the sister as adults?
No. Now
just that the sister still doesn't talk to the parents.
Doesn't speak to the parents.
But how's their relationship to sisters?
I'm going to guess they don't have one. I'm wondering if she knew that she was being framed by the younger stepsister.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
If she thinks that the parents just automatically assumed it was her and kicked her out.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, the reasons here don't matter anymore. I feel like why you framed your stepsister or...
Yeah, no, for sure.
Why she doesn't talk to you.
I just was like, do you approach it with her first?
Right. No, I asked that question too.
I don't like this one.
I don't either.
It is going to bring up, a lot of friggin' old stuff, but also... if I was the parents, I'd probably want to hang myself.
I wonder if there was any regret back then, or if that just the regret piled up and coalesced. You know what I mean?
For
who? For the writer, like for doing that to her stepsister. And as she grew up, she realized she was wrong and realized more and more. Like, and now the guilt's eating her.
Yeah, she did mention something about the guilt eating her.
Well, what I mean is like if it was progressive and now like...
since as a child.
Yeah.
What's the question? Should she tell?
Pretty much.
I don't know.
How should I begin to confess? Oh, okay. So it sounds like she's made up her mind. She's going to.
How do I begin to confess?
And I agree that she should.
Okay, tell me more.
I honestly just think it's for her own benefit. It has nothing to do with morals or anything like that. I know when I feel guilty about something, I will torture myself just like she is, and I have to eventually the truth will set you free. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's really up to the individual person in those types of circumstances. It sounds like she's made that decision. She's ready to confess. She just doesn't know how to.
Yeah.
I think she knows that. I think for her, I think this is a case-by-case basis. She knows that the truth is going to be it's going to free her conscience. It's going to make her whatever. She's acknowledged the consequences.
It could also potentially be freeing. It could start to maybe even create a healing between the sister and the parents.
Yeah, it could. Or that resentment's just too strong.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely on the sister.
Yeah.
But if the parents are able to be like, oh my God.
We're so sorry. Your piece of shit sister told us she was a piece of shit.
Right. At 10 years old. I don't know. I'd start with the sister for sure.
Yeah. Assuming she doesn't know, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm so sorry that I ruined your life.
Literally ruined your life.
I don't know that I would say that.
No, I know.
But yeah, I think I agree. Start with the sister and maybe bring, if the sister's open to it, her to confess to your parents.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
But it doesn't sound like she has contact with the sister, actually. So I'm wondering if she starts with the parents or try to find the sister. I don't know.
Well, I don't think that they don't have contact. She said that her sister has nothing to do with her parents.
Right.
I feel like she would have mentioned, like, she has nothing to do with any of us.
True.
That's why I asked how their relationship is. Is the sister, does she know that it was her? Are they cool? I feel like this girl needs to forgive herself. She was 10 years old.
Yeah. But I think that her way of forgiving herself is telling the truth.
But what is that going to do?
For her, it's a conscience thing.
That's why she needs to forgive herself. I was 10, and that was friggin' traumatic. No 10-year-old on this planet is going to be like, oh, just kidding, it's me, send me away. You know what I mean? Right.
Well, that's the other part of it too, is she willingly framed her. It wasn't just, me, send me away. Yes, she went out of her way to make sure she got sent away. So at that point, she wasn't in the mindset to even... I don't think
she knew the consequence would be her sending her away.
That's true. Okay. That's very fair.
You know what I mean? I'm 10 years old, and it's super normal if I'm upset that, you know what I mean?
Or fair.
My brother used to carve my sister's initials when he'd do something wrong so that my sister would
get off. Seriously? I never knew this.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's normal stuff. And then you do a normal 10-year-old thing and see the consequence is getting sent away from your home.
Right.
Like, come on.
Of course you're terrified.
Of course. You're not going to say anything. And saying something now is going to just open up a lot more trauma.
Yeah, I have to separate my feelings from this because I'm thinking, like, if my mom knew that I was the one that destroyed family heirlooms, she wouldn't have sent me away, but she would have totally dealt with me. And then when it's the stepdaughter, I don't know, my mom always wore the pants in the household, so that's why I'm having an issue with this.
She looks great in pants.
Right? Yeah, but I also understand, like, doing what you need, understanding what's best for you in terms of clearing your conscience and feeling good about yourself. Like, for me, a lot of forgiving myself is being able to tell the truth. I know that for me.
But if it's going to have potential to create or open up old trauma, that's potentially not going to get resolved. I mean, also, I feel like we should consider that, especially as adults now, they're going to be understanding that, like, you were 10 years old. These things are normal. What you did is normal at that age. I don't know. I struggle with
don't know if
with it being the 10-year-old's burden to carry. That's a strong reaction. Without context, just based off what the writer wrote.
Right.
That's a strong reaction.
Yeah.
From the parent.
I think there are two things going on here. There's coming clean, and then there's forgiving yourself. Yeah. Like setting the course right. Just because you forgive yourself doesn't make it right for the sister, or doesn't try to fix it for the sister, who maybe is looking for a relationship with her family years later, or the family's looking to justify a relationship with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to come clean so that maybe there's a chance that they can fix this situation.
But being the sister who got kicked out and then ended up homeless and all these things. As an adult now, I don't care who did what. My parents kicked me out of the house.
Yeah, but I don't think that me being the sibling who committed it wouldn't be a justification for me to tell my parents the truth or not. What if
my little sister coming to me and telling me, oh my God, that was me who did that. That's not going to change a thing for me. You know what I mean? And if anything, it's going to make me more upset and more angry because now I have to relive what my parents did to me.
Mm-hmm.
And being the parents who, she mentioned that the parents regret their decision?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now, if I'm the mom and dad who kicked my daughter out at 16 years old, who wound up homeless and who now has no relationship with us, for my other daughter to come up and be like, by the way, it wasn't even her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely going to want to go hang myself on top of already wanting to hang myself. You know what I mean? It's just not going to change anything except for bring up old hurt and old wounds. And now as a parent, I have to live with that even more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not only do I already regret how I handled that, but now I kicked my child out and it wasn't even them. I just don't see it.
Your point is well taken, and it makes a lot of sense. I need you to understand that I understand exactly what you're saying from the point of the reader, which is where my mind is. So I'm not thinking about the cause and effect. I'm thinking more like, this reader has already decided they're coming clean. How should I start? So to me, that's not an issue anymore. They've made a decision. The question is, how do they do it? Like, I understand you want to come clean. Maybe it's to clear your conscience or to repair a relationship, maybe. This person's clearly not thinking about what the repercussions of telling the truth might be, right? Which is what you were alluding to. I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they've made a decision. They're going to tell the truth. So how do we respond to that?
I think that's where you start, by forgiving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
By saying, I was 10 years old, first of all. Second of all, that's traumatic.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And third, I think it's a big deal to think about, what is this going to do if I bring this up years and years later?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why if I was her friend or I was giving her advice, I would say, like, I would work on forgiving yourself first and then see how you feel.
Yeah. See, that's the part I can't get over, because I can't forgive myself until I make right.
Even if you're going to hurt a shit ton of people, I feel like that's kind of sucky.
It's kind of like, I can't forgive myself for cheating unless I tell him I cheated. You know what I mean? I know that context, it's a stretch for sure. The context is different, but like, it's that kind of mindset. Like, I can't, how am I supposed to forgive myself when they don't know that I fucked up? Like, some people are able to do that. Some people aren't.
Yeah, I guess.
Some people can justify things.
I just feel like it's a whole big shitstorm.
Yeah.
That isn't necessary.
And one we're not going to sit in the middle of anymore. Would you like the answer?
I would.
Me too. Dear Unforgivable. My editor and I think this sounds like the plot of a 19th century novel, but we can't figure out which one.
Didn't you say there should be a movie? You did.
Well, this says novel, but same thing.
Same thing.
But the important thing is, you're probably not the first fictional or real person to experience something like this. And more important, you are not unforgivable. You did a mean, immature, childish thing because you were a child who was going through a tough time. The blame here is on your parents, who failed to give Corinne unconditional love and ruined her life based on the allegations of another kid. Good parents don't abandon children for misbehaving. Forgive yourself.
Give me my flowers, Biff.
Given what I know about your dad from your letter, I don't think he would take your confession well, and he may in fact take his love away from you because he's not a reasonable person. So don't tell him. But if you do have a chance to apologize to Corinne for the role you played, do it. Chances are she knows her father well enough that she'll understand where the blame belongs. Fuck you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Fuck you, Stephanie.
I was super curious about this one because I was like, am Stephanie. I wrong?
No, you're just fucking Stephanie.
With an F.
Yeah, big fuck you. Not forgive yourself.
Yeah, we didn't address
the parents.
Her being, well, yeah, I did mention the parents.
Well,
that like they're fucking assholes, but her fear of coming out now and her dad taking his love away, like she said.
Yeah, I guess that's what I meant by parents.
Yeah. We didn't address that part because that's a very valid
Very real.
It's the reason why at 10 years old she didn't confess then.
That's really, yeah.
I like roses, by the way.
I know. That's why I don't share you with nobody. Yeah, I guess, sure. To me, it sounded like she had already made the decision to confess. So I guess that's where I was going with that. You know, like...
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to do it. So how do I do
How
it?
do I do it? Yeah.
And I'm like, take a lot of Ambien so that you fall asleep doing it.
Or your no fucks pill that you take
Oh my God,
on
my
occasion.
Buspirone. Ask your doctor. This is not a commercial for Buspar.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
Feel better that I was right. It just felt like a whole can of unnecessary bullshit that was about to happen.
I see that. I can't deny that. I do see that. But fuck you. I mean, forgive yourself for making me look like a fool on this podcast.
You didn't look like a fool because there is...
No, there's merit to it. I understand. No, but I see where you're going. I see where you and Prudy are going with it. It makes sense.
But it is harder to I'm going to just forgive myself and never bring it up again.
Yeah.
Like, that is, I feel like in most situations would probably be difficult. But this one no, it just felt wrong. There's just no need for none of it. Okay. Although I do like that she did point out, like, maybe tell your sister sorry. But again, it's like the same.
I just want to be the writer who chose this question out of all of them. And literally it took two of us to kind of rationalize, like to make a decision on the spot for this person to sit there and try to decide what they were going to write in response to this letter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like the one thing about advice columnists that I really want to know more about. Like, what's your process? How long does it take you to respond to one letter?
I know.
Right?
Is it just off the cuff? Like,
well, for us, we rationalize a lot of things, and then, in most cases, we're like,
bring up something, we're like,
and then we come to a conclusion. We're like, oh, we're on board. Yeah, and it took two of us.
Right.
So I would love to.
We need another episode for this.
We do.
If we were columnists.
But we ain't. Because we're the best friends that tell you the advice you should have gotten in the fucking first place. Just pick which one of us to listen to.
Literally.
That's the point of being BiFFs, yo. I'm publishing that.
Perfect.
BiFFs, yo. So, Biff, how about we just go to the backup because we're short on time here? You good with that?
Sure. We always need questions for later.
This is a quick one. Well, actually.
Maybe.
This is, no pun intended.
We're not.
Help, I caught my son in a compromising position with a vacuum cleaner.
Can we just not have a third question this time? Where's Sarah?
Why?
Because I feel like she's probably gone through this.
I'm going to text her. Dear Prudence.
Dear Sarah.
I came home early from work on Friday to the unexpected sound of the vacuum cleaner running in my 12-year-old son's room, thinking that perhaps this was a sign of the apocalypse. My son cleaning his room without major nagging on my part. I burst in there and caught him with his pants down and the hose attachment attached to his, well, you know. He froze like a deer in headlights, and after picking my jaw up off the floor, I mumbled something stupid like, "Excuse me," and turned around and walked out and hid in my room. He left to go to his dad's for the weekend shortly thereafter. He'll be home tomorrow night after school, and I don't know what to say to him. Actually, do I have to say anything to him, or can I just act as though this never happened, or not say anything about it at all? I much prefer option 2, by the way. What do you think?
I don't think I can give advice because I have a daughter, not a son.
Okay, so what if you caught her with what vibrates in the kitchen? I don't know.
I would act like it never happened.
You could probably catch her with the vacuum because it does vibrate a little bit. I'm just saying.
I already said it to spin.
That's the washing machine. So if you walked in and caught her with the washing machine.
I think I would just ignore it.
Really?
What am I going to say? First of all, you're 12. I'm not about to go buy some toys for my 12-year-old.
Right.
But I'm also not about to shame you for being a human. It's unconventional, your methods.
Yes. Next time you use a paper towel roll like the rest of us. Just kidding.
Paper towel rolls? That's a thing?
For those who can fit it in there.
I was going to say.
Can you put your hands down, please?
I mean, if a 12-year-old can use a paper towel roll, I'm definitely not saying shit to him. But also, when I was younger, little sounds.
You can't use it in this context.
When I was younger, I was exploring and my mom caught me and can we start over? I don't want to tell this story anymore.
I will exit out if you want me to.
I was in the living room.
So you still want to tell it.
But nobody was around. And it wasn't like a full-blown, like, oh, I'm going to, do my thing right here on the couch. It just was like I was doing something else and was like, oh, wait. You know what I mean?
I'm curious.
Also, I was younger. So it wasn't... And my mom, like, fucking had a meltdown. I mean, she
why? Because it wasn't Jesus.
Well, yes, it definitely had to do with religion,
right?
But also, I was in the living room on the couch. I thought I was being
in the privacy of your own public,
like sneaky or something. Anyways, she embarrassed me. You know what I mean? And that's hurtful for a child. And although I do agree that she was correct I guess I agree that there is, in my situation, it was like, you don't do that in places where people can see you. Mm-hmm. That was not the approach she took. But she also embarrassed me for not just where the place was and where I was doing it and that type of thing. So I think that it matters.
Well, that's where I was going to go.
What I'm saying is he was in his room. The door was shut. There's no need to bring it up.
I agree. And I also disagree. I agree. The best course of action here to spare embarrassment all around is just, let it be.
Yeah.
But I also think that there is a side on the child or on the child, the mind. This doesn't feel right. Your offspring.
Good pick.
Thank you. There's a part there that, like, I also want to make sure that they know I'm not mad at them, because that's a thing. Like, masturbation, things like that are so stigmatized, or they have been. You know what I mean? Where, like, you're made to feel wrong about it, especially if you're in a religious household, or if you're in a household where it's like, you don't talk to kids about XYZ. So I wonder if in your situation, it would have been different if your mom had just been like, okay, close the door. And then, like, later on went to you and said, honey, it's okay. Everyone does that. Just maybe if you did that in your room and locked it. In this case, he was in his own room, but he was caught. Like, wouldn't you kind of feel better that you weren't in trouble rather than kind of be on the edge of your seat waiting for punishment to be dulled down because you got caught with a Dyson?
I think if after this happened and I saw my parent and they didn't say anything, I would feel better.
Interesting.
I think if they were like, honey, then I'm going to be like, fuck my life.
Interesting. I feel like I would feel better if I got absolved.
I feel like that would make me feel worse.
Really?
Because now you're acknowledging it.
I tell my kid all the time, like, I don't know why you take forever in the bathroom. I don't know why the shower is running forever, but whatever you're doing on the toilet doesn't need the shower running.
That's a different situation.
It's a totally different situation.
You're wasting water.
Yes. Yes, my glass is empty, but I will toast to it. You are so right.
I just think, leave that alone. He was in his room.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I also don't want him to feel like he's in trouble.
It's going to feel way more shameful for you to acknowledge it out loud.
Yeah. And, remember those water snake things that used to play with your hand where it just keeps slipping out of your hand?
Yes.
I'm going to buy him one. The writer's son. Because leave my fucking vacuum alone. Vacuums are expensive, A.
Also,
and B. Yeah.
Anywho.
Response?
Yes.
All right. Sorry, just read the first line. Actually, I didn't read it. I just saw one word. I'm not
going to drink yet.
Are you ready? I sincerely hope that Dyson Company doesn't see your letter and come up with a new line of vacuums guaranteed to suck the living daylights out of the user. First, you may want to pick up a copy of Port Noise Complaint. Let's just say the liver scene should reassure you that young men have always been creative when it comes to relief. Ew. Normally, I agree with you, Mom, that backing away quickly is the right path to take when stumbling upon such an uplifting scene. But I'm actually worried about the amount of suction your son could be applying to his private parts and the potential for gunking up the machine's filter.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Vacuums are expensive.
You know, I thought about that part, but I'll buy a new vacuum before I just...
You're going to be out thousands of dollars.
I'll buy a different vacuum that maybe can't be disassembled.
Less suction.
Is that the right word?
Defiled.
Disassembled.
Taken apart?
You can't put
gotcha. Okay.
yourself in nowhere.
Or defiled.
Yep.
I think the situation calls for a man-to-man talk. I hope you have the kind of relationship where you can tell your ex about this and you both can laugh. Then your son's father can have a good humored talk in which he explains that there are lots of ways to accomplish his goal, but it's a good idea to keep the household appliances out of it. Emily Yaffe.
Oh, Emily.
Imagine if he fucking took it up with the mixer later. Like,
explain that one to the doctor. This ain't on me. These were great questions.
They were really great questions. See what happens when we don't think too hard?
Slate never disappoints. Or
Never.
Prudy. Actually,
Prudy.
that was Yaffe.
That one was Yaffe. The other ones, I don't think they were all Emily.
Anyways, we love all of them.
We do love Emily, though. I think that's it. That's all we've got for you folks this week.
That's all we got time for.
That's all we've got time for.
We got churrin to pick up.
We got churrin.
Churrin.
Churros?
Isn't that cereal?
No. Oh, yes. Cinnamon Toast Crunch
churros. Yes, I had some.
Yes, but I'm actually talking about real churros.
I don't know what a real churro is.
Guys, we've got to go. I got to go make churros.
Oh my God. We're gotta go.
We got to go.
Thank you for listening.
No.
Check out last week's episode with Rachel Sievers and Consent to Treat.
Yes, it was so powerful. If you haven't listened to that,
do his thing.
No.
And you've been ill-advised. I just want churros.
I know. How about we start with send us your questions, your comments, and all of your concerns. illadvisedthepodcast@gmail.com and your wines.
Or beverages.
And beverages. And you can catch up on all of our episodes at illadvisedthepodcast.com.
Also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at illadvisedthepodcast.
You guys are fantastic. You're wonderful. Get an Orica Hoover doesn't do shit.
You've been ill-advised.